Hello everyone, back again with Story Recap. Before we get to storyline, I wish all happy and great day. Hey, today I'm going to recap the drama mystery movie called 10 Cloverfield Lane. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film's story begins with a girl named Michelle who wakes up and finds herself locked in a basement. She had no idea why she was in this place. The last thing she remembered was that she was in an accident while returning home. She started trying to stand, but she realized that her leg was tied to the wall. She tried to remove the lock from her, but she couldn't. She was watching the room, hoping to find something that would help her. She was surprised by the type and shape of the room's door, because these doors are only used for shelters. She started to think about why she was in such a place. After that, she found her bag containing her things and her phone in front of her on the ground. So she tried to reach the phone, but it was too far away. An idea came to her mind, to take a stick and threw the stick to reach her bag. Even though the distance was long for her, she was able to bring her phone. She was hoping to call the police to save her and get her out of this place, but unfortunately, there was no signal on the phone. Meanwhile, she heard the sound of someone opening the door. A man named John entered the room. She was afraid of him and started begging him to get her out of this place, but he started to bring her back intravenous therapy. He didn't want to kill her. She asked him why he locked her in this place. He told her that he was the one who saved her life, but she was surprised by what he said. After that, she told him that there is someone who will search for her and will not stop until he finds her and takes revenge on him. But he answered her strangely, as he told her that there is no one alive outside to come and save you. She was starting to feel more afraid. Then he brought her some things to help her walk. Then he gave her the key and left. She untied her leg, and when she saw the wood, an idea came to her mind. She sharpened the edge of the wood like an arrow to use it as a weapon to defend herself. Then she went to the door and waited for John to hit him and run away. But he didn't come. She thought of a way to make him come. An idea occurred to her, as she burned a piece of cloth and placed it in the ventilation area until the smoke filled the place. Then she heard a voice coming into the room. She prepared to attack him because this is her only chance. When she attacked him, he managed to avoid it and injected her with an anesthetic injection. After that, she regained consciousness and found the same man in front of her. She asked him again why he locked her up. He told her there was a nuclear attack outside and the air was polluted. He told her that he had found her at night when she had an accident the day before the attack. So he decided to help her and bring her to the basement. While they were talking, she heard someone's footsteps from outside. So John went and left the room. She was terrified of that and went back to her bed. Then she heard a car sound from above the room. She was surprised because John told her that all the people outside had died. She begins to suspect that John lied to her. She found the door to the room open, so she left the room. She found another person in the storeroom who was asleep. She started talking to him, but John came and took them to the hall. She started to explore the place and reached the stairs that lead them outside. John allowed her to go up the stairs. She started to watch outside through the window, where it was very quiet and all the animals in the farm had died. John tells her that this is what will happen to them if they leave the shelter. She saw John's car with traces of the collision on it. She remembered that this is the same car that hit her car. She felt like John was hiding something important from them. In the room, the same person she had seen before, called Emmett, came to her and began to tell her about John, and that what he says is true, because at the time when Emmett went to work, there was an explosion, and he was so afraid that he came to this place. But she was suspicious of him and John. During dinner, the situation was tense because they did not know John's intentions towards them. Emmett was trying to keep things calm for Michelle. He continued laughing until John got angry at him and asked him to shut up because he was bothering him. John was opening wine bottles when suddenly she saw the keys close to her, so she started talking to Emmett and acting strange. Because of this behavior, John felt disturbed and felt that they wanted to do something. He immediately attacked Michelle, threatening her and asking her not to do anything to upset him. While he was talking to her, she managed to take the keys from him and then went back to the dining table. She tried to calm down so that he wouldn't suspect anything, but he suddenly felt that the keys were not with him and that someone took them from him. She hit him directly with a bottle and ran towards the stairs to get out. He tried to catch up with her, but she reached the door and started opening the locks. He became close to her, and she had nothing left but to open the last lock. Fortunately, she was able to escape through the first door and close it before John caught up with her. She was able to be in a safe place. She went to the last door that takes her out of the shelter, but she saw a car coming from outside, and a girl with injuries got out of the car. This girl started asking Michelle to get her inside to save her, but she got scared. She started to feel that John's words were true. The girl tried to open the door, but Michelle went back inside and closed all the doors because she was very afraid. She and Emmett feel they have wronged John because they believe he lied to them. After that, they started dealing with things normally. One day, there was a malfunction in the air conditioner, and the door of the room was closed. So they asked Michelle to enter the ventilation pipe in order to enter the room and turn on the air conditioner. Indeed, she agreed and reached the room through the ventilation tube. She turned on the air conditioner, but before she left, she started to see the room because this room is something new for her. She reached a ladder leading to a window overlooking the outside. She reached the window and noticed that the text of the window was not open. When she opened the window, she was shocked by what she saw, as she found a word written in human blood and that the person inside was asking for help. She knew that the one inside was his son, John, because he had been talking about her so much to them. She also found the iron with which this girl wrote the word help. She hurried back so that John wouldn't feel anything. Then she told Emmett what she had seen. They suspect that John is abnormal and that he might suffer from a mental illness, so they decide to run away from the place. They started making clothes they could wear outside. One day, John asked them to get out a barrel he had hidden. Indeed, they moved the barrel to the room. They were surprised by the size and shape of the barrel. When John opened the barrel, he told them that it contained acid, which dissolves anything. Suddenly, John took out the things that Emmett took to make his escape clothes. He also asked him why they were there. He told him that he wanted to make a weapon to make Michelle admire him. Then he started apologizing to John for doing this thing without telling him. John decided to forgive him, but suddenly, he pulled out his weapon and killed him. Michelle was surprised by what happened in front of her. Then, John took her back to the room and closed the door in order to clean the place. She decided to complete the escape plan because she knew that John would kill her too. She prepared the clothes until she heard John's voice in the storeroom coming to her room. So she hid the clothes under the bed and put the mask in the ventilation hole. He started to talk to her, but just as he was about to come out, a screw fell out of the air vent. He also looked at the clothes and figured out what they were planning. She quickly ran out of the room and locked the door, and also found the keys. But John managed to get out of the room. She went to the room where Emmett was killed, but John got to her and was trying to get her back to the room. Suddenly, she pushed a barrel of acid to the ground, and John was injured. She was able to get out and take the clothes, and then she went into the ventilation tube. She decided to go out through the window she found earlier. She reached for the window lock and tried to freeze it in order to break it, but it was very difficult. Smoke began to fill the place because of the acid. An electric short circuit occurred, and the shelter seemed to fill with smoke, but she was able to break the lock and get out. She was afraid because of the polluted air, but suddenly, she saw that there were birds alive. She made sure that there was no nuclear explosion or contamination, and that what John was telling them was a lie. After that, she saw a strange being approaching her, but she hid until this strange being left. Then she went to a nearby house, but suddenly a strange vehicle arrived and started spraying poisonous gas. She put on the mask, got into the car, and left, saving herself. Don't forget to support me with the like and subscribe buttons. Stay tuned for more film recaps.